Throughout the history of hip-hop, there have been countless feuds or beefs between various artists and organizations. The best part is that most of these beefs have been fairly accessible to the public, whether it be through the lyrics found in tracks made by the artists involved, or sometimes the issues even find themselves in court for the public to see. Most of these beefs take place within the confines of songs produced by artists, but going back as far as the beginning of hip-hop, it would seem that every now and then things reach a boiling point between two people or groups of people, and violence ensues. The sad truth is that sometimes people who are hip-hop artists lose their lives at a young age. Whether it be from the hands of an enemy or a friend, it's just something that happens sometimes. In today's video, we're going to be discussing a couple of different rappers that ended up getting payback for their friends who either lost their lives or were disrespected in some manner. Be sure to watch until the end to hear about what happened with Rondo number 9. Before we start the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you would like to join this month's giveaway of one of these items on the screen, then all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and watch this video to the end to comment the hidden keyword. Good luck. Mac Minister for Mac Dre. Mac Dre was an American hip-hop artist who began his career in the late 1990s and early 2000s. People say he was an instrumental figure in the start of the hyphy scene, which was a cultural movement in the Bay Area hip-hop scene. Mac Dre released 11 studio albums from 1993 to 2004. On October 31st, 2004, Mac Dre was killed after an unidentified gunman shot at the van he was in at the time. The driver of the van crashed but managed to dial 911. Sadly, Mac Dre was pronounced dead at the scene due to a bullet wound in his neck. Though there is no confirmation from law enforcement, it has been widely assumed that murder was executed by Anthony Fat Tone Watkins. A little over a year after the murder of Mac Dre, he was avenged by one of his friends and collaborators, Mac Minister, otherwise known as Andre Dell. Andre Dell was a hip-hop artist from San Francisco, California. He began his career in the rap industry in 1993, appearing on tracks with artists like Snoop Dogg and The Game. Dell only released an album back in 2006 titled The Minister of Defense. Mac Minister has since been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder along with 2 counts of conspiracy to commit murder. The body of Fat Tone was found full of bullets fired from an AK-47. And after a 10-month-long manhunt for Mac Minister, he was eventually sentenced to life without parole. Fredo Santana for Capo. Capo is a Chicago rap artist that was born in 1993 as Marvin Carr. Capo signed as a member of Glory Boys Entertainment, or GBE, which was a rap label owned by Chief Keef, along with Fredo Santana. In 2014, Capo was involved in an altercation with the Migos that ended with violence. The rap trio from Georgia assaulted Capo after a heated argument stemming from the beef between GBE and the Migos. Capo claims that Migos, along with 20 other people, began to mob around him. After the fight, Capo took to Twitter to call out the Migos. He claimed that they were clowns and cowards for not fighting him fairly. Capo continuously claimed that the Migos were afraid, even when they were backed up by an entire crew. For a while, Capo continued to taunt the Migos, repeatedly demanding that they pull up or DM a location. It would seem like Capo wasn't the only one who was irritated by the behavior of the Migos. Fredo Santana is a notorious troll in the hip-hop community, but he's one that people fear. You see, he has had a criminal record dating back to the age of 12, and it's one that not only is he open to talk about, but he seems almost entirely proud of it. After hearing the news of what happened to Capo, Santana took to social media to begin calling out the Migos, threatening to kill them on Twitter. Fredo began posting tweets saying things like @MigosATL, I'm in LA but stop playing with Capo on BD, for I get y'all whole camp killed. Facts, my word is law, so don't test. He then continues to say that he's not afraid to do the time for it either. Fredo clearly feels that the Migos disrespected one of the members of his record label, and I think it's clear that he was ready to handle any business that he had to do in order to ensure it didn't happen again. Considering his past, the Migos probably thought it was better to not respond to Santana. ARAB for Cassidy. Barry Adrian Reese, who goes by the stage name Cassidy, is an American hip-hop artist from Philadelphia. He is best known for his single Hotel, which features R. Kelly. Cassidy first gained attention from his freestyle abilities back in the late 1990s. He was a well-known battle rapper, and what do battle rappers do? They diss and they clown other artists and people around them. It's in their nature. Cassidy was always a troublemaker, but now sits in jail on a murder charge for allegedly instigating the incident with ARAB. You see, at the time, ARAB was a bodyguard and friend of Cassidy's. AB acted as his enforcer, which meant trouble for anyone who was beefing with Cassidy. After an altercation took place in 2005, a group of men was out looking for AB to settle things between them. After knocking on Cassidy's door and asking about AB, Cassidy, knowing full well what was gonna happen, sent the men out back where ARAB was located. Before any conversation could take place, bullets began to fly. AB, protecting himself and his man Cassidy, ended up shooting and killing Desmond Hawkins, along with injuring 2 of Hawkins' crew. Meanwhile, ARAB was unscathed. At first, he faced life in prison for the murder, but eventually the court dismissed the case. However, Cassidy was placed under house arrest and charged with murder and supplying the weapons that took place in the shootout. Rondo number 9 for L.A. Capone. L.A. Capone was born in the south side of Chicago in 1996 as Leonard Anderson. He was a rapper who slowly on the rise, who was often associated with Lil Durk. And just like Lil Durk, Capone was a member of the Black Disciples. The BD is a gang that is established in Chicago's O Block. Though he was unable to release a mixtape for himself while he was alive after his passing, his friends released a mixtape for him under the title King L.A. L.A. Capone was killed shortly after leaving the South Shore recording studio in 2013. The 17-year-old rapper left the recording studio and began to walk down an alley around 6:25 p.m. when he heard shots being fired. He was shot in his lower back along with his right leg. Friends flocked to Twitter to send their get well wishes. Sadly, at 8:30 that night, Lil Durk tweeted "R.I.P. Lil Bro," and the world knew that L.A. Capone had passed away. Rondo number 9, who was born the same year as Capone, was a fellow hip-hop artist who often featured Capone in the background of his music videos. Rondo is an artist who is heavily affiliated with the Black Disciples and has collaborated with other Chicago drill artists like Lil Durk and Chief Keef. Rondo is currently facing a 39-year sentence in prison for supposedly killing a person that was involved in the murder of L.A. Capone. There is a ton of speculation as to how the person was involved with the murder, but somehow Rondo found out and ended his life. This person was a cab driver who either snitched and gave up L.A. Capone's location to rival gang members, or the cab driver did the shooting. No one knew what information Rondo had, but clearly it was enough to warrant a murder. This cab driver was the same one that dropped Capone off at the studio. It's assumed that he either returned to his territory after that or called his people and told them where they should make their move. Rondo, along with fellow artist C-Day, ended up taking the matters into their own hands by shooting Javon Boyd along with Courtney Ely. Rondo number 9 is currently in prison serving out his sentence of 39 years. He has been in there for 7 years as of now. Meanwhile, C-Day is serving a 38-year sentence for the same crime. As you can see, the rap game is no stranger to violence, and it doesn't matter which part of the world you grow up in either. I'm not saying that you can't have one without the other, but the theme of respect along with violence is definitely a part of some hip-hop artists' lifestyles, and sadly, some people lose their lives over it. I want to end this video by saying rest in peace to anyone we spoke about in this video that is no longer with us in this life. And I want to say rest in peace to anybody who found themselves in some bad situations and sadly lost their lives because of it. Hey you, yeah you like the video? Great, we got another one for you that we guarantee you'll like. And all you have to do is click on the screen. It's free and without any hidden fees, but you have to click on fast because this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.